Hi, Mike Hulett here, Jameson, Sotheby's International Realty. Today I want to talk about home inspections. So we just finished up a home inspection here, and it got me thinking about the one last week that we did that didn't go so well, and then the one about a month ago that didn't go so well. So I want to talk about two things today. Number one, what should your mindset be going into a home inspection? And number two, what are the typical outcomes that happen when you do find items in a home inspection? And there are always items to be found. So number one, what should your mindset be going into a home inspection? Well, what it should not be is you should say, hey, everything's going to be great in this house. There's going to be no problems. It's going to be great. No, that doesn't happen. Every house has problems. New ones, new construction, old construction, it doesn't matter. They all have issues. I had a home inspector tell me a few months ago that he'd be embarrassed if he had another home inspector come to his house because people just don't keep up with their homes like they should. So, and that's just the way it is. I mean, when you live there, you're busy, you have things going on. And even when you prepare things to a home to sell, there's a lot to do. So the mindset going in should be, listen, I know that all homes have problems, but I also know that I need to keep things in perspective. The level of the problem is what I need to focus on. There's always going to be the handyman stuff and the little things. That's without question, even in new houses, sometimes especially in new houses. But do you have something like mold? Okay, yeah, that rises to the level of starting to pay attention. Like health and safety issues are the most important. We had a house about a month ago that had mold. Of course, my clients, they didn't freak out, but they were alarmed. And it wasn't a lot of mold, but we had it in the basement. Seller didn't even know about it. It was behind an HVAC furnace in a closet. And it came from a tiny little leak, but it had been growing. And 3 professional inspections later, we had U.S. waterproofing come out, we had a general contractor come out, etc. We figured it out. It was just a tiny little spot that needed caulk around the faucet that goes outside the spigot, and they remediated. Everything's fine. We're closing soon on it. So I've had little cases of mold like this. I've had whole basements full of mold and walls that, that can be remediated too. And I don't mean to say that these things are light things. That's not what I'm saying at all. They're very serious things. I mean, especially if you have conditions related to mold, but they're solvable. Almost every single time they're solvable. And that's what you really need to focus on. What's the path to solving these? So that's the right mentality going in. So what do we do to solve these things? Mainly 2 things. Number one, either the seller gives a credit for the issues that are found or they repair the items, sometimes both. So it really depends on what both the buyer and seller are comfortable with. But at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Both sides have to be comfortable. It can't be too one-sided or things just don't get done. That's the way it is. Buyers may want one thing and sellers may completely think that's irrational. And that happens all the time, and vice versa. Things can happen. So really at the end of the day, it's about perspective. Keep things in perspective when you find items on your inspection, because you'll find them, guaranteed. And just try to work through them. And that's the best advice I can give. And of course, if you have questions, always give me a call. Be safe out there and have a great week.